What's going on, guys? JSkeleton with Brandon for guys. Today coming at something a little bit different, friends. Today we're going to be nerding out over the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and specifically Avengers Infinity War and Avengers 4. And we're going to be theorizing what can happen next, what comes next. And so there's going to be a lot of spoilers in it. I want to first forewarn you guys about that. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, then come back to this video, nerd out with me in the comment section below, because I mean, we're going to have a great time doing that. Yeah, so again, if you haven't seen it, go see it, because, you know, maybe you don't care about spoilers, but I'm telling you, go watch the movie spoiler free. You don't want to spoil it for yourselves. You have to see this movie spoiler free. It's so freaking good. I'll give you guys one last chance. Click off if you don't want spoilers. I'm going to do a 5 count, and if you're still here after that, well, prepare for spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're still here? All right, let's go. Spoiler zone is now being entered, my friends. All right, so Avengers Infinity War, first of all, is an amazing movie. I want to make a separate video of my reactions and thoughts and impressions, because it's a movie that was really insane. But I wanted to do this video first because I've been nerding out about what comes next. I've been obsessing over what comes next, because we all know that Infinity War ends on a cliffhanger. Thanos snaps his fingers. That wasn't loud enough to snap the first time. Snaps his fingers, and half of the universe ceases to exist. Bam! He's done it. He's gotten all the stones. He's done. I got a lozenge. I apologize. I'm just trying to keep my throat, you know, nice and moisturized, so I don't start coughing up while I talk about these things. Yeah, what comes next? I mean, listen. I'm nerding out so hard that I went out and bought the Infinity Gauntlet comic. Now, some of you guys are out there probably like, man, I've owned that for years. Listen. I'm not top tier nerd yet, but I'm gonna be your nerd level one day, my friends. So, really good comic. I highly suggest you guys pick it up. And the reason I got it is because a lot of Infinity War is influenced heavily off of this comic, to the point where they even credited the writer of this comic, Jim Starlin, in the movie itself. Okay, that's how much influence they took from the comic. That said, there still are a lot of differences from the comic and from the movie. One of those being, you know, Thanos's drive. In the comic, he's trying to impress Death. Death is a character, a mistress, a woman that he's trying to impress. He wants to be king and queen with her, but you know, as powerful as he is, you know, he's having a hard time kind of impressing her, I guess, if you will, right? And so she believes that the universe needs balance, that there needs to be more death, because, you know, at the current situation, there's more living than there has been, you know, deaths. So she believes, you know, half of the universe needs to be wiped, so there's more balance. Which, you know, in the movie, that's Thanos's belief. You know, are they going to ever introduce death as a character? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But the point is, you know, a lot of the kind of foundation of the plot is taken from the comics. So judging off of that, we can kind of maybe get an idea of the direction of Avengers 4, because I do believe it's a part 2. I don't care what they said, what Kevin Feige said, and what the Russo brothers said. They originally said it was a part 1 and part 2. Okay, and there was a reason they said that, and I doubt that they scrapped, you know, the script for the second part and redid everything. They might have changed some stuff, but I think the main reason they didn't want to call it a part 2 is, first of all, is that, you know, they wanted it to be individual movies, because if it's just like a part 2, there's just different kind of, you know, perceptions about each movie that can kind of happen from that, and then it kind of feels like both movies have to have the same kind of tone to them. And they said each movie has a different tone. They even said they're kind of different genres in a way. I mean, they're still a superhero genre, but you know what I mean? Like, Infinity War is darker. It has a dark tone. It's about, a mad titan, you know, destroying half of the universe. It's genocide. It's insane. Whereas Avengers 4 is most likely going to be the remaining Avengers reversing all of that. So they have two different tones to the movie. Obviously, you know, there's going to be a lot of dark tones still in Avengers 4, but I think there's going to be a much brighter tone to it as well. You know, with saving some of the other Avengers. You know, are we going to see some more deaths, like permanent deaths in Avengers 4? Most likely, probably. Yeah, we probably will. Or at least, you know, some of our favorite superheroes calling it quits. Maybe Iron Man calls it quits. Captain America calls it quits. Maybe they die. Maybe, you know, some of them sacrifices themselves, you know, because if they go back to try to get the stones off of Thanos, if they want to use the Soul Stone, someone needs to sacrifice themselves in order to use the Soul Stone, I believe. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, because the Soul Stone has already been obtained by Thanos, and now that, you know, it's been obtained, it's in its physical form. I don't know if you need another sacrifice in order for you to use it. I don't know if that's how it works. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section below. But if it does, then someone's going to need to sacrifice something or someone that they love, which, you know, maybe, you know, Captain America sacrifices himself, not because he loves himself, but because someone else loves him. You know, maybe Iron Man secretly, you know, loves him as a brother, you know, or whatever. That said, I strongly believe, as far as the title goes, we're going to get into some more plot details or theories of Avengers 4, but I strongly believe it's going to be called Infinity Gauntlet. Okay, one leak I just came across after thinking that, wow, this is going to be called Infinity Gauntlet. I actually thought that because the comic's called Infinity Gauntlet, and you know, Infinity Gauntlet, it's a 6-issue comic series, and the first issue is when Thanos snaps his fingers and destroys half the universe, and there's 5 issues after that's basically the remaining Avengers and superheroes trying to reverse everything. And I believe that that's what's going to happen in Avengers 4. And so, because the main part of the comic Infinity Gauntlet is them trying to reverse everything, I think that's why Avengers 4, where they're trying to reverse everything, is going to be called Infinity Gauntlet. And then I came across a leak where Zoe, I can't remember her last name, but the actress that plays Gamora, she said last year, and I can't believe I just came across this now and I didn't come across it last year, because, I mean, I'm obsessed with the MCU, but hey, you miss things. It happens to the best of us. She said she was on the press tour for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and she was asked about the filming of Infinity War and the Guardians' role in it. And she said, you know, she believes that the Guardians of the Galaxy's filming for Infinity War was done, and that, you know, they had to go back later that year to film Gauntlet. Now, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, he jumped in and he said, oh, you know, Zoe misspoke. You know, it's not what she meant. You know, nothing's confirmed yet. You know, we don't have a title yet. I mean, that's natural. A lot of people said, like, well, Infinity Gauntlet as a title's been debunked because of that. That doesn't debunk anything, my friends. I mean, it's just natural that they're going to cover up. You know, if it is, let's say it is called that, why would they want that to be revealed that early? Because that was before Infinity War was even out. You know, so why would they want that out that early? That's the first thing to keep in mind. You know, because even now, let's say it leaked right now, right? Let's say it leaked right now. It's still too early for them to confirm that, because, you know, there's not enough digestion for Infinity War. Infinity War just came out. They're not gonna even drop any info for the sequel for Avengers 4 probably till, like, I would say, like fall 2018, probably November, kind of the timeline where they start dropping, you know, the info and teasers for Infinity War last year. So that's what I think is going to happen. Now, one thing that they said is that the title is a spoiler. And if it's called Infinity Gauntlet, that is definitely a spoiler. That is 100% a spoiler, because then everyone's going to look at the comic and they're going to be like, well, we know what's going to happen. It's going to be, you know, the rest of the superheroes trying to go back and restoring everything, which is pretty much where everyone's thinking is going to happen anyways. Then again, they're probably going to, will they play off of the fact that everyone's assuming that and you know, not do that? I don't think so, because, you know, for all the hardcore comic nerds, you know, even, I mean, I'm not a hardcore comic nerd, but even myself being obsessed with, you know, more information, before Infinity War came out, I came to the conclusion that Thanos was going to win. He's going to snap his fingers, it's going to be over, he's going to wipe out half of the universe, and that was going to be it. And then when I started hearing that the movie's going to end on a cliffhanger, it just solidified that idea. and when I seen the movie, it was obviously what happened. So that, you know, that idea was obviously taken from the comics, right? Obviously maybe different motives, but the foundation of the plot comes from the comics. And so I think, you know, if it is called Infinity Gauntlet, it's going to be a spoiler for sure. It's going to give away a lot. It's going to give away stuff for Infinity War, because anyone who knows the Infinity Gauntlet comic, they're going to jump on that and they're going to be like, man, well, you know, we got an idea of what's going to happen. Then again, it might not be called Infinity War Infinity Gauntlet, because if they call it Infinity Gauntlet, people are going to assume too much from the comics. So there is a strong possibility that they might not call it that either. A lot of people are thinking they might call it Avengers Endgame. Anyways, enough about the title. What about the plot? There's a couple different theories going out there. There's two main ones that I think are most plausible. But there's one I'm more leaning towards, and that is the one that kind of follows more of Infinity Gauntlet, which is the idea that, you know, they get the stones back from Thanos. They use the gauntlet to reverse everything. You're going to say, well, wait. If you remember, at the end of Infinity War, I keep calling it wars, but it's Infinity War, singular. At the end, when Thanos snapped his fingers, the gauntlet was destroyed. It was all charred. It didn't look like it was in, you know, proper working condition anymore. And you can say, well, wait, he used the Tesseract stone, the space stone, the blue one, to teleport out of Wakanda. He did, but so did Loki in the original Avengers. You don't need the gauntlet to use the stones. You know, Ronan used the Power Stone in Guardians 1 without the gauntlet. He had, you know, obviously his hammer, his staff, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, you can use the stones without the gauntlet. But to use all of the stones together for what Thanos wanted to do, he needed the gauntlet. Does that make sense? So to snap his fingers, to wipe out half of the existence, he needed a special weapon, the gauntlet. That's why the gauntlet was created. Now, again, going off Infinity War, who did Thanos get the gauntlet from? He got it from Eitri, who we've seen Thanos go to, the dwarf, which Peter Dinklage did an amazing job with. That was a nice surprise. He went to him when Thor went to Eitri to build his axe, the Stormbreaker. One of the first things we see, and they made sure to show a good shot of it, was the molding for the Infinity. Not the Infinity, but for the Gauntlet. Well, I guess you can call it the Infinity Gauntlet, but the Gauntlet that Thanos has. They made sure to show it. Now you can say, well, they just wanted to show it, you know, to kind of, you know, so Thor could ask Eitri about it, and then Eitri would tell him, you know, the story of how Thanos came and forced him to make the Gauntlet. Maybe so, but I think there's more to it. I think that, you know, Thor being one of the ones that are still around, he's not one of the ones that got wiped from existence. I think he is going to remember that mold, and they're going to go back there, and they're going to create another gauntlet, because the gauntlet that Thanos has is destroyed. It's not working anymore. It's charred. It's taken its beating from, you know, the use that Thanos you know, used it for. So I strongly believe they're going to go back and build another gauntlet so they can use it to reverse time. And, you know, once they use it again, that new gauntlet's going to be destroyed. And then, you know, maybe then they'll destroy the mold so you can never build one ever again. Now, what about the stones? How do you get the stones back? Does Thanos still have the stones? That's a question. I think Thanos might still have the stones, but at the same time, does he need the stones? No, not necessarily, because the reason he wanted the stones is to wipe half of the existence of the universe. And now that he's done that, why does he need the stones? So he might scatter the stones to kind of prevent anyone from getting them. Then again, he might try to keep them in his possession to use them against anyone who tries to steal them from him. So there's those two possibilities to consider. Either way, I think the Guardians are going to have to go steal the stones from him to use. Whether it's just to get their hands on the time stone to reverse time, or whether it's to get all the stones to reverse everything using a new gauntlet. Now there's a question: where did everyone go? Where did everyone go is a big question. Everyone had kind of disintegrated. First of all, the interesting thing is that the original Avengers are still there. Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, drawing a blank here. Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, Hulk, all all the original ones. They're still there. They didn't go, you know, they didn't vanish. That's really interesting, and I think that's an important piece of information to kind of keep in mind for some reason. I'm not 100% sure what yet, but I think maybe those Avengers, maybe some of them will die in the process of bringing the other ones back, and maybe, you know, you know, some of their contracts are ending, like, you know, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans, their contracts are ending, so maybe, you know, that's how they die. Maybe they die trying to save the other ones to bring them back somehow. I don't know. That's kind of an idea. Or maybe they just quit at the end of the movie because they're like, man, this was too much. Now that we've saved the world from Thanos, we're done. You know, maybe that's how they quit. There could be deaths. There could be just quitting. There could be both. I don't know. But it's very interesting that they're the only ones that are still alive. That said, they're going to have to go back and save the other ones. And the other ones are going to be saved 100% because you got Spider-Man. He's got a sequel coming. You got the Guardians. They got Guardians 3 coming. And things like that. So it's inevitable that they're going to be coming back. The question is, Loki, Gamora, you know, people like that, are they going to be coming back? People that suffered a physical death. That's a big question that I don't know. I think Gamora, there's a good chance. The reason is because her soul seems to be inside the Soul Stone. Because at the end of Infinity War, when Thanos snapped his fingers, he went in this like weird place that was like, it looked like it was inside the Soul Stone. It was all orange and stuff around him. I swear that's inside the Soul Stone. I would be very surprised if it's not. And he's seen a young Gamora, and she was asking him about, you know, did you do it? And he said yes. She's like, you know, what did it cost? He said everything. I swear that's inside the Soul Stone because she was sacrificed in order to get the Soul Stone, a soul for a soul. And I'm pretty sure that to get the Soul Stone, the soul that you sacrifice goes into the Soul Stone. So I'm pretty sure Gamora's soul is in the Soul Stone. So if that can be, you know, retrieved somehow, maybe her physical body can come back to life somehow. I mean, she didn't splatter on the ground. She was still in one piece. So I think she can definitely be saved. But the question is Loki and all them. If they go back in time, which I think they will, you know, some of the leaked set photos from Avengers 4 shows, you know, Captain America in his original suit and Thor in his original suit, and just all of them in their original uniforms from back in the original Avengers, actually, the attack on New York. That's what it seems to be, you know, that's where it seems to be set from those leaked Avengers 4 pictures. And that kind of, you know, automatically assumes that time travel. Do they use the time stone to time travel, or do they use a different method? Now, that's where kind of the theories split off into two theories, where it could be, you know, Infinity Gauntlet, where they use the Infinity Stones and a new gauntlet, or, you know, maybe someone like Scott Lang or Hank Pym. Pym, is that his name? Pym, P-Y-M. Hank, you know Hank, the original Ant-Man, the guy that created the Ant-Man suit. He's been studying time travel, so maybe he has some kind of, you know, technology that can go back in time, or maybe through the quantum realm somehow. You know, I don't know. There's those kind of possibilities, or maybe Captain Marvel. You know, because we've seen Nick Fury page Captain Marvel at the end of Infinity War, and that's obviously significant to some degree. Maybe Captain Marvel has some kind of technology to go back in time and that we don't know about, or maybe he, you know, maybe all she does is, you know, go to Titan to bring Iron Man back to Earth. I'm pretty sure, or Iron Man and Nebula, I think, were the only ones left on Titan. So maybe she brings them back to Earth, or, you know, maybe Nebula's gone by then. It's just Iron Man. And then she joins the fight and then she helps them, you know, because, you know, obviously their crew, their squad has been cut in half at this point. So there's those possibilities as well. But you know, either way, if they're going back in time, they have to go back in time far enough, because they need to go back in time before Thanos was ready. They need to defeat Thanos before he was ready. That means before he had any of the stones, before he even had the gauntlet made. Because once he had the gauntlet, I mean, he was pretty much prepared to get the stones. So they need to go back before he had the gauntlet. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure at the end of Age of Ultron, I think it was that movie's post-credit scene where you've seen Thanos put his hand in the gauntlet. So he had the gauntlet then, but we don't know how long he had it for at that period of time. So that would explain going as far back as the Battle of New York, because the Battle of New York was in the original Avengers was Thanos. We know that was caused by Thanos. So he definitely had the gauntlet by then. So they got to go further back than that. And if they go further back than that, it begs the question: who comes back to life? Is anyone who suffered a physical death, did they come back to life, or is it just the ones that ceased to exist because they're going that far back in time and they're reversing everything, so they do exist again? You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. It's kind of a mind game. And again, if they go that far back in time, that means is Loki back alive? Is Scarlet Witch's brother, does he come back? He died at the end of Age of Ultron. Does he come back? Who else? Vision. I think Vision's gonna come back either way. Gamora. I mean, I think Gamora is an exception either way. Even if those like Loki and them who suffered physical death stay dead, I think Gamora is definitely going to be an exception. I believe that, but I don't know. We'll see. I really hope so, man, because I don't want to see Gamora permanently dead. So yeah, I mean, there's so many questions, but all in all, those are kind of my thoughts. Those are kind of my my ideas, and a lot of ideas I've seen floating around. I definitely think that it's a safe bet to say time travel is a definite thing. They're going back in time. They're going back far enough to face Thanos, to have a second chance at fighting him before he was even prepared. And Doctor Strange, he's seen 14,604 different outcomes, and only one of them, he said, do they win. And then he gave the time stone to Thanos to save Tony Stark's life. And there's no way, he said earlier to Tony Stark, he said, if it comes down to saving the stone or your guys' life, I'm gonna protect the stone. There's no way he built so much of an emotional bond with Tony Stark and Peter Parker that fast, where that's why he gave the stone up. He gave the stone because the only outcome that they win is where Thanos has to get all the stones, wipes half the existence of the universe, and the remaining Avengers goes back in time to before Thanos was ever prepared and defeats him then. And then those other characters are revived. They're brought back. So yeah, that's it, man. That's a definite. That part is a definite, I can guarantee you. So apologize, this video was a little lengthy. I definitely wanted to nerd out and kind of express a lot of different ideas and thoughts. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I feel like I'm still forgetting some things, but we can make more videos. Which theory do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to be the Infinity Gauntlet theory, where they use the Infinity Stones and maybe a new gauntlet to go back in time, or do you think it's an alternate kind of version of time travel, whether it's through some kind of technology Hank Pym and Scott Lang have, or if it's some kind of technology that Captain Marvel has? One thing we know is that apparently Ant-Man and the Wasp happens right before Infinity War, like right before. And interestingly enough, it seems that Avengers 4 happens about 5 years after Infinity War, because they casted an older Casey Lang, which is Scott Lang's, Ant-Man's daughter, for Avengers 4. So a few years seems to have passed in Avengers 4, but I mean, if they're going back in time, it doesn't matter. Those years are reversed. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you guys want to see more videos kind of nerding out over movies like this, especially the MCU, let me know. I got a lot more to talk about, especially regarding Infinity War and the future, Avengers 4 and other movies. So if you guys want to hear more, we'll definitely do that. But if you guys enjoyed this one, smash like one, subscribe, the comment, share, and a lot of awesome stuff. And yeah, give me your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. What do you think it's going to be called? What do you think the theories are? Yeah, that's kind of my idea. Not my personal idea, but my belief is that they're going to go back and get the stones from Thanos. They're gonna go back in time and then fight Thanos in the past to kind of reverse all the dark effects of Infinity War. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up here, my friends. I'll catch you guys very soon in another video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time. Well, I'd say game on, but this is not a gaming video, this one. So I guess watch movies more. I don't know. Just go watch Infinity War again and again and again, and give me your thoughts in the comments below. I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, later.